So let's start with the alleged bloodline of Lucifer, the royal family, who are so powerful that all should bow down to Baldy, prostrate as Baldy, dying of cancer, Middleton Mark II, Wills the Baldy, who has temper tantrums over anything and everything, and of course Gormless George, Harlock Charlotte and Lousy Louis, who of course have got total control over the British deep state, and they are suffering no problems and basking in the adulation of the British public. Because they're the bloodline of Lucifer. They're not grifters, shysters, vermin motherfuckers who have been bullshitting that they control Lucifer. So here's from the British deep state. Andrew accused of introducing glamorous actress to Jeffrey Epstein before billionaire went on to sexually assault her. It was claimed that Andrew introduced a glamorous actress he was dating in the late 1990s to Epstein during a visit to Windsor Castle. So they had Epstein going to Windsor Castle. This is not a good look. And that the vile US billionaire went on to sexually assault her, an exclusive from the Mail. So the next thing is, revealed the very unroyal granny annex at Princess Beatrice's 5 million Cotswold mansion, ostracised Fergie may soon call home. The former Duchess of York is desperate to find a new home after Andrew was evicted from his sprawling property on the Windsor estate and stripped of his titles. So basically, the whole gist of this is that Fergie has been given a glorified cowshed as the granny quarters on Princess Beatrice's 5 million Cotswold mansion. So they're heaping humiliation on Fergie, and I think the whole aim is to push her off to Portugal or onto any super rich billionaire that wants the mother of the most beautiful, allegedly, woman, Princess Beatrice, that the UK can produce. Next one. If you don't think Mossad controls the US, you are a dickwad. What Marjorie Taylor Greene did that pushed Trump beyond breaking point. Marjorie Taylor Greene, her decision to resign provoked bipartisan shock in Washington last week as they scrambled to understand why she would leave at the height of her career. It's pretty easy. Mossad control America, and this piece of filth was talking out against Israel and how Israel controls the US, which of course is demonstrably real, and then whine that anyone who talks against Israel is going to die. So this gutless piece of filth couldn't put her mouth to lift up her trousers. She's shown to be a gutless wanker who knows she'll get gutted like a pig in a sacrificial assassination, and has decided to resign after, of course, she gets her Congress pension. So you can see why Mossad controls America, because all the white filth are gutless wankers. News. Ed Sheeran says he had a 4-hour talk, but never mind, with Taylor Swift after learning Travis Kelce engagement on social media amid fallout rumours. The two pop stars have been close friends for 11 years, with Swift even referring to Sheeran, 34 at one point, as her second brother. So it's looking good for the marriage, and all of you vampires who are getting things dirt cheap, be sure it's back up to minimum $600 once she marries the Pfizer butt slut. Why? Because I'll be celebrating and gloating, and of course, since it's the ultimate form of vindictiveness, I'm spreading my vindictiveness far and wide. Coming to America shortly after the marriage, as she Charlie Kirk's every single American, and of course Christian, and of course already Big Girl is turning Ed Sheeran into a Charlie Kirk, because that's her purpose. Ed Sheeran exposes cracks in his marriage with heartbreaking new album tracks. So, Ed Sheeran appears to bring the struggles in his 7-year marriage to Cherry Seaborn to light in the deluxe version of his album play. So you can see that misery, Charlie Kirkness, is spreading to this Christian, filthy pair from my naggled woman Taylor, who is tuned to Charlie Kirk, everything and anything that is Christian across the planet. Thank God for her being locked into destroying the entire Western Christianity by the Pfizer butt slut. So if you think you won't suffer Charlie Kirk's death and eternal damnation, Lucifer's an expert with flensing knives, and he's got a blowtorch up Charlie Kirk's anus at the moment. Never fear, Taylor Swift is here. Now, this is the bloodline of Lucifer. All of you British filth should be bowing down and praying 5 times, not to Mecca, because you're white filth, but to the royal family or the bloodline of Lucifer, who are the appointed and anointed bloodline of Lucifer, and to whom all power comes, because of course they say so. They're not bullshit shyster grifters, are they, cameraman? And of course there's no problems among this royal line, this bloodline of Lucifer. But there is a little bit, because Sarah Ferguson may take down royal family over Queen Camilla's lack of support. That means that one grifter is not paying another grifter. The royal family are concerned over Sarah Ferguson's next move as the Epstein scandal continues. The former Duchess of York is believed to be feeling betrayed over Queen Camilla's lack of public support for her as she hits rock bottom. I tell you what, that's a hell of a lot of bottom to hit rock. Who needs a hammer when you drop Fergie from a great height? It has also been claimed that the ex-wife of Andrew Mountbatten, formerly Prince Andrew, is hurt and also very dangerous because Queen Camilla has distanced herself from the disgraced former royal. After the downfall of her ex and being stripped of her titles and removed from her charitable works, Ferguson is now being forced to move out of Royal Lodge. Fergie has allegedly been seething over how the Queen completely vanished from her light amid the ongoing investigation into Sarah and Andrew's ties with the late paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. A palace insider says that she is very hurt at being blanked. Last year, Fergie told the Sunday Times about being so close to King Charles III's wife Camilla. Yahoo reports now she wishes Camilla, 78, would show the same loyalty, claims the insider. Sarah keeps saying Camilla owes her. She cannot believe she's suddenly being treated like some problem to avoid, shares the insider. She says she stood by Camilla through the darkest years. While the Queen's infamous affair with Charles, 77, behind the late Princess Diana's back had many snubbing her. The insider says Fergie was able to look past it, even despite a long-term friendship with Di. Camilla was like a sister to Sarah, dishes the insider, but she's been pushed into a corner and is making Sarah very dangerous. Adds the insider, she's a ticking time bomb, and the angrier she gets, the more likely she is to go through with threats to take everyone down with her. Cameraman, can you explain to me, this is the bloodline of Lucifer. They've got the Luciferic power, so they can simply control Fergie to do anything they want, because they're the bloodline of Lucifer. And according to the People's Voice, Wills is the Antichrist, or at the very least, Gormless George is the Antichrist, but doesn't seem to be working. A, Lucifer's lost his power, or B, these are grifter, shyster, con merchants who have got the Luciferic power of a barbecued cockroach about to be fed to a demon in hell. I do believe that a cockroach might be prettier than Fergie. Sarah has enough stories to make everyone in the royal family very embarrassed, especially Charles and Camilla. Adds the insider, she's a ticking time bomb, and the end was she get blah 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 blah, etc etc. Repeat yourself. Not good journalism. Very poor. Leaked tape exposes President Macron in illegal acts with minors at Rothschild party. So obviously the Rothschilds are getting the shit kicked out of them, not in a major way, but the royal family are. But these little leaks can't be good, because the Rothschilds are allegedly the bloodline of Lucifer and have all the power of Lucifer, and allegedly Jacob Rothschild dined with Lucifer every night and left a table out with cutlery for the dining out with Lucifer. Didn't do much good, because I slaughtered Jacob Rothschild and Serena Rothschild like dogs. So A, Lucifer's got no power, or B, the Rothschilds are shyster, grifter, bullshitters, but at least they're worth 500 trillion. So next we come to Stranger Things and 11. And I watched the first four. I found them quite amusing. Cameraman really liked them, but he's a simple-minded C-U-N-T, so anything pleases him. But what was the whole point of this? Well, we had these beam weapons that took 11's powers away and made her real. So what the American filth were trying to do was get the viewers of Stranger Things to link up with their satellites, which of course are flying over the train, to try and cancel out my immense psychic power, which is off the charts, me being a grandmaster in remote viewing and remote sensing and coercion, e.g. remote influencing, remote manipulation, aka remote killing, grandmaster in psychokinesis, controlling reality, a grandmaster in being able to move things, telekinesis, a grandmaster in precognition, but they missed the point. You know, well, I'm good at all these psychic powers, but I am a black magic ipsissimus. I control all reality because I've taken over from the Elohim, what you Christian filth used to call your God, Adonai, Sabaoth, Yahweh, Tetragrammaton, Elohim. So the American deep state were fucked, F-U-C-K-E-D, and FUBARD, because they think I'm just a simple psychic, when in fact I've simply taken over from the Jew God. I'm omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, and linking the viewers of Netflix to try and power up their beam weapons on top of their Hummers to cancel out the power of me by linking it to the satellites flying over the train, simply does the opposite because it's a zero-sum game. It's powering me up. But this is more important. I can use all of the broadcast facilities, satellites, and all the 5G network and 6G network and 4G network to broadcast this psychic damping field and making all the psychics on the planet super ill and making them trapped, all that was supposed to be uploaded from the viewers of Netflix to the AI that's controlling my digital avatar. I've explained to you, you can't make a digital avatar of me. You're only making a digital avatar of Jeremiah Schwartz and his ilk, not me. So when they did this procedure, all they did was to cancel out every single psychic phenomena power of Jeremiah Schwartz and his ilk. That's the entire Western psychic warfare program. And of course, we've already done that with Amazon, but they did it again. And all the Borg, who are controlled by the AI quantum computing proto superintelligence, to carry out psychic warfare and make sure that Maduro in Venezuela gives up and their SAO takes over in Venezuela, using control over reality via psychokinesis, all gone. Their ability to protect Donald Trump from the Iranian filth that are remotely manipulating him, gone. So Donald Trump's health will rapidly decline. He'll turn into a vegetable almost overnight, thanks to Netflix. And of course, the remote influencing of Putin to, of course, accept Kushner and my buddy Wyckoff's plan, this peace plan for the Ukraine, which of course is so good that the British have already sunk 2 of Putin's tankers with their naval drones. Take that, Putin. MI6 are gloating. They're gloating by blowing up 2 of Putin's tankers with their drones, even while Witkoff and Kushner are trying to convince via their Russian puppet, who used to be a US ambassador to America, that Putin should accept this peace plan because, of course, the Russians have got the Ukrainian filth, a whole country run by rat-faced Jews who are simply lining their own pockets from the white fuckwits in Europe, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, America, that are funneling hundreds of billions into these Jew boys' pockets. I think that's a good plan. And of course, a guaranteed victory. But now, of course, they know the Russians have basically got to the point of destroying all the Ukrainian strong points in the east. They're desperate for a ceasefire so that Ukraine can rearm. So we've got the American psychic warfare program concentrating on Putin to make him accept this peace plan. And of course, Mossad and the Americans have got the videos of Putin with Berlusconi at the bunga parties. Remember, Berlusconi killed the Moroccan whore with radionucleotides. Was that shades the Russians? I don't think so. No polonium-210 there. She was about to blab about Berlusconi and Putin at these bunga parties. So we know that the American psychic warfare program has been concentrating on Putin, not to kill him because I'm blocking that, but to use pressure to get Putin to force a ceasefire. All of this cancelled out by Netflix, which has erased all of the psychic warfare capability of the entire West, because it hasn't worked on me, but I've been using it to work on the West again, to redouble it, not only from Amazon, but from Netflix. And of course, if you thought that it worked, you American filth, here's my latest ritual for you to suck up and eat my shit. So, I've been a busy bee. We've had Netflix cancelling out all my psychic powers, allegedly. This was the ace in the hole for the American deep state fuckwits, instead of which I carried out my latest ritual. And here's my latest ritual.
Information officer with the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. My name is Heather Brent. Limited information that I can provide at this time. I'm going to refer to my notes though. Shortly before 6 o'clock p.m. tonight, our dispatch received reports of possible gunshots near the 1900 block of Lucille Avenue. What we have confirmed at this time is that there was a banquet hall where a family was celebrating. We have 14 victims of this shooting. 4 of the
14, that's bad. That's bad. That's really bad. It looks like Big Girls joined with me for my ritual. What was the last video? Well, Ophelia, that's where she drowned herself instead of where she drowns all of Southeast Asia. 600 dead so far, I think, the latest batch. What was the one before that? Fortnite. How many days in the fortnight? 14, I know. I tell you what, if you're depending on a Kansas City tight end to get you out of an arranged marriage, I don't think so. I don't think it's working. But anyway, let's continue the video.
The victims have been transported to local hospitals throughout the area. This is a very active and ongoing investigation. Information remains very limited at this time. Early indications suggest that this may be a targeted incident. Investigators are exploring all possibilities at this time. Detectives are working diligently to determine the circumstances leading up to this incident. We are urging anyone with information, whether it's videotape, surveillance, maybe you're in the area and you saw something, to please contact the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. Our #1 priority right now is identifying the suspect in this incident. We're very grateful for our local law enforcement agencies. We have called out several agencies to come in and assist, including Manteca Police Department, Stockton PD.
So, this is my latest ritual, the slaughter of the verminous Americans. And why, of course, well, we've got the 4, that's the 4 elements, earth, air, wind and fire, and 10 for the Kabbalistic tree. And of course, let's look at Stockton.
Still on the run after a deadly mass shooting at a child's birthday party in Northern California. The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office says 4 people were killed, 10 more wounded. The shooting happened around 6 last night at a banquet hall in Stockton, California.
6, of course, is the number of thou, and of course we've got 6 times 13 to make 78, which gives us the number of the tarot cards. So, you can see the American filth. We're trying to use Stranger Things to go to Trumpy Boy, the favourite torture beast of the Iranian filth, who are vivisecting him psychically, to say, well, we've countered all psychic warfare because we've got hundreds of millions watching Stranger Things, and we're beaming the quantum information from Stranger Things beam weapon on the Hummers into the satellites over Iran and of course into Vietnam to cancel out the psychic powers of your enemies, Mr. President. And of course I go, yes, 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 yes. What you're doing is amplifying my psychic powers, because of course it's a zero-sum game. So instead of the satellites broadcasting a psychic damping field at me in Vietnam, they're super boosting my psychic powers with me draining dry every single viewer of Netflix, and more specifically Stranger Things. So if you've been watching Netflix or Stranger Things, you've been sucked dry, omega hellized, and in my Abaddon information cage to lift me to psychic power levels I never even imagined. So thank you very much, American deep state, DOD, NSA, CIA filth. And just to rub your face in my shit, we did the Stockton shooting on the 29th, which of course is the 2 of Chokmah and the 9 of Chokmah in the Clipothic tree, which of course is Lucifer, so that my control over Lucifer is totally powered by all of the souls that ever watched Netflix, Stranger Things and Netflix, and Lucifer can never break free of my thrall, because remember I'm the ultimate necromancer, the Lord of the Rings. So all of the Netflix Stranger Things audience have agreed to source level eternal torture and new source level eternal torture, so that I can break my contract with Lucifer. So when I marry Taylor Swift, Lucifer is not released, but their souls have to suffer for me breaking the contract, because they've all become Charlie Kirks. They've all tried to do me in. Charlie Kirk was an Islamophobe, and all viewers of Netflix are Islamophobes because they tried to limit my psychic power and do me in, as they did in 11, and the coloured that she found trapped in the lab. Thank you very much, American filth. Here it was, November 29th. Why on the 29th? To bind Lucifer to my eternal thrall. And even if I marry Taylor Swift, the most beatific, pulchritudinous, wonderful woman in the world, the love of my life, Lucifer will still not be released, because of course they tried to do me in and they accepted my IOU. So now I can marry Taylor without losing total control over Lucifer. Hence the dog in the Fortnite video, which is Lucifer as my dog. Must have wondered, well, Tim releases Taylor from the old mind control, sucking her dry. We're going to be explaining that soon as well. But Lucifer's still a dog, yes, because of the Stockton mass shooting ritual. And of course, Stockton's full of blacks. So of course, and children, because let's be honest, the children have got all that lovely life force and linked to every other child killed by the Illuminati, and 7 million a year children. So I could suck dry all of the mass child sacrifice by this ritual. You must agree, it's wonderful. Take over the Kabbalistic tree, 10 Sephiroth, happened at 6, which is the number of Val. And it's a birthday party for children. Which of course means that all of these Netflix, Stranger Things and all the blacks population have to suffer in my Abaddon information cage to feed the energy to my pit viper daughters and my jock sons, some of which might not survive, because if I get any back chat from jock sons, I should be getting my Chinese bodyguards to dispose of them, whether mother likes it or not, because let's be honest, if you're breeding surrogates, you can just breed a few more. So I'm going to be the ultimate Victorian father. But of course the pit vipers are too clever to try and threaten me, but some of the jock sons, I can't give much for their future. But let's be honest, if you have to a few sons to make a good omelette, let's break a few more eggs and have some more surrogate sons. So, pentacles, let's read from my A-Weight handbook. So, from my The Rider-Waite tarot cards, instructions, pentacles answer to very dark people. So, all of the Stockton filth were dark people, and we were doing the pentacles, but of course it's in the West, which of course is swords, and the keta of the North, pentacles, is yours truly, the ultimate black magician, the Ipsissimus, having jumped the abyss and become a Magister Templar, then Magus, which is Chokmah, and then Ipsissimus, which of course is Keta. And of course it was in Stockton, a shithole in the west of America. So we're going from the west, which is the swords, to the north. So we're going from sea space to the real world. We're manifesting from sea space using this sacrifice. And of course we've got the 4 dead for the 4. Suits. Pentacles for the north, we've got the east, fire, the wands, we've got the south cups, and we've got the west swords. And 10 of course, because we've got the Kabbalistic tree. But more importantly, if you take away the higher cards of tarot and leave the lesser cards, you take the 22 away from the 78, you get 56. And what of course is that's 4 times 14. There are 14 tarot cards to each of the cardinal positions. North, pentacles, east, wands, south, cups, and west, swords. And of course we've got the Kabbalistic tree imprinted from the Elohimic, remember this is how the Elohim control reality, basically stealing the source to make themselves God, the Jew God. And of course what I've done is suck dry the Jew God and stuck in my OU to make the new source. So we've got the ace as Keta, and then we've got the 10 to the 2 for the rest of the Kabbalistic tree. Then we've got the 4 court cards. The king, the queen, the knight and the page. So how does that work, Tim? Well, you should know you're a black ipsissimus. You're the ultimate magical power. Yes, yes, yes. You rule the universe according to occultism, and ipsissimus rules the universe. Yes, yes, yes. Why? Because I'm worth it. I use L'Oreal. Well, simply put, you've got the court cards, which of course is the daft doorway, which lies between the male and female tops of the pillars. Chokma and Bina, and is the 11th to do with death, which of course controls everything about human filth and all life forms and everything made by the eagle, because of course if you control their death, you control their conception and every single thing that happens to them in their life. Hence the power of the Elohimic control system. Done by Kozarev Time Density, the 1112. So you understand from all my previous videos, which some of which are pretty turgid and boring, but you have to go through them, otherwise when I'm gloating, you wouldn't understand my magnificence, and that would be a shame, because let's remember, I'm gloating now. I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just gloating. It's all done. But you think, well, he's just a madman. He's crazy, batshit, off his rocker. But then we go, if you've gone through all my videos, you go, no, he's actually just gloating. He's done it all, and now he's just gloating because it's done. And whatever his enemies try and do to stop him, it's already done. That's why he's gloating. He's not trying to teach us anything, he's just gloating. Why? Because he's a vindictive bastard. And the only thing that motivates him is vindictiveness. Yes, 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 yes. If in doubt, be vindictive. That's my motto. So, the daft doorway up the top will be the night. The behind, you go into the tunnels of Set, and the doorway out the tunnels of Set to get into the realm of shells, the Clepothic realm, is the backside of 10, Malkuth, the bride, so that would be the Queen card. Then we go down into the death of the Clepothic realm. That would be the page, because remember the page is calling forth the king, and the king of course is the king of Edom. Kings of Edom, basically Amalek, making vampire clones of him, the kings of Edom. And if you've got Nagul women, who of course become vampirized, that would be the queens of Edom that take over all of the Jew gods' universe according to Kabbalah. And Isaac Deloria did 6 volumes of this. So it always happens. I'm just explaining how. So with this ritual, we've actually had the 4 elements, earth, air, fire and water, the 4 suits linked up with the tree of life, and of course we've got 4 court cards with the killing of 4. Remember, the ones in the tree don't need to die, but you need 4 dying, because it starts with death. The Knight of Pentacles, death. Queen of Pentacles, death. This is sacrificial death. Page of Pentacles, death. And to bring the King of Pentacles into absolute power over the entire system of the Elohim, another death. Hence we got 4 dead, and 10 wounded, and of course they'd have to be black, because the nature of the Pentacles is black people. but I love black magic. And of course we need it on the world stage to get all of the observers on their news powering the Black Ipsissimus. All done. Now, the next thing is, you've got to know about the tarot, is that the 14 cards do the 7 exchange rituals. If you don't understand the 7 exchange rituals, you can go onto the site and look them up, or get A.E. Waite's book and look in the back of it, in the appendix. So you're exchanging 7 good things for 7 bad things. So with your tarot cards, you've got 7 good tarot cards and 7 bad tarot cards. And the Elohim did the exchange ritual for all 4 corners. Old Big Girl did the burning, which of course is the wands. Remember the Hong Kong tower blocks, there were 4 of them, had the bamboo, the wands, and all burnt up. She's been drowning all the people in Southeast Asia, that's the cups. And of course I've done the sea space, the west, Stockton, and the north, making sure they're black people. But I'm not a sadistic, nasty piece of work like Big Girl, so she's been going on a mass slaughter. I just do the minimum possible. That's my art form. I do the precise minimum possible. But you know, Big Girl, she just blunders around. If in doubt, let's kill a few more. Let's kill hundreds more. So as you can see, the tarot has the 22 major arcana and the 56 minor, which makes 4 times 14. And each of these positions does a 7 exchange ritual. So if you thought your tarot magic was just the 11-12, it's much, much, much more complicated. And this was the mechanism by which the Elohim bled the Neo, the Jesus, and then used this Higgs field, this light, to make their quantum information, because remember they're chaotic filth, real. And the whole system was based upon stealing the lives of every single living being, because if you're the eagle and you eat the life force and control the death of every single living being, then of course all of the light that is stolen by these filthy neo-Jesuses, wicker men, can be used by the Elohim filth for this entire control mechanism over chaos. And their engine of control was acquisition of Kosarev time density was the eagle, which is now in my Abaddon information prison, being tortured by Lucifer, my eternal employee. And when it tries to go up the Feigenbaum period, doubling to the 3, the Adonai, which is basically possessing Adam and Eve to suck dry the source, that was all finished on the 30th of the 11th, 25. 25 stands for the Elohim, 11 stands for death, 30 stands of course for the 3 Adonai powering the 10, the mechanism by which he does it, the Kabbalistic tree. All finished yesterday. So on the 1st of the 12th, 25, I'm sucking out all the good stuff from every single Elohimic, chaotic entity across the universe, multiverse and megaverse, because it's feeding time and this king vampire is very hungry and he's out for blood.